Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Today I'm working on some different stuff than what you're probably used to. I'm working on some actual scenic environment, which I think it's going pretty well. It's pretty laggy, and I'm remembering why I kind of dislike cycles, because you spend most of your time doing test renders and very little time actually developing the scene. But yeah, this one's going, well, it's taken quite a while. I was working on this yesterday night, and then now. It's been hours, I tell ya. I was working on this till 12 o'clock. Did I stream yesterday? I think I did. Yeah, so right after I got done streaming, I was working on this for a while. I've been working on this for a few hours. It's been a while. But we got some cool looking results. Like, I really want to develop this one. But I also like this one a good amount. But I also need to, I need to do a direct comparison between the two lighting setups I'm doing. Let's take a look. Do I want the backlight or do I want the side light? It's a question. But yeah, I've been playing around with many different, let's see. Do I like that one? Which one was it? Oh yeah, and I also have a blue variation, but I think I like the orange better. It's brighter, more colorful. And I also had kind of a rocky version of it. I think I like this one better. Okay, so that, or that. That, or that. More sunlight hitting the surface. I think if I just rotate that a bit more, it'll be good. Just a little bit more. So this, if I let's turn that off, turn this one back on, then rotate it just a wee bit more. And just get a little bit more shadow going through. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'll show you guys how I made the kind of swirl effects. So let's do this and scale this down to like 0.5. And let's start off with a subdivision surface. You know, I did use geometry nodes for this, but I need to severely optimize it because, as we can see here, the mesh is a little high poly at the moment because it's all one connected mesh. I wanted it to flow seamlessly. In hindsight, that wasn't a good idea. And, oh, look at all that, all those inverted polygons. So you can see why I need to fix it up a little bit. So there we go. I'm just going to use a geometry node editor, and I'll show you guys how I did this. So it's a bit more simple than you would initially think. Let's put this one here. Let's take a look. Let's go and use a set position node. What I'm going to do is raise up the middle a bit. So I want the position, but then I'm going to add to that position based on the distance from the center. So I'll get the length. There we are, and then I'll vector math that by a little bit. And then let's raise it up, but turns out we need to use a map range node to invert that. Should have guessed that beforehand. I actually could just use a combine XYZ, but I think I'll keep it as a map, as a multiply node, because I'll need to use the power nodes. So math, let's set this to power. Yeah, so I can do that, so that I can customize the fall off, and then I need to rotate this. So to do that, I'm going to use a vector rotate. Do that, hit that, set this to, let's put on the x-axis, and then I'm going to multiply this by the gradient that we have. So we can see if I lift this up, something is a little amiss. So if we do that, and the center needs to go up. So we're getting a swirl effect. Let's see, yeah, let's change that to 3. So we got that happening, but it's not supposed to be affecting the other parts. Yeah, so it's, yeah, it's not supposed to be affecting the edges there. So let me just go and reduce that. There we go. So if we do that, we should see, there we go. We have a swirl, but we don't have enough geometry, which is the big problem with this. So let me just reduce this by a good amount to like 0.25. Let's reduce the radius of it. Oh, there we go. That's a bit better, don't you think? There we go. So we could do that and just make it swirl in on itself and keep it going, but I think this is good. And then I just need to make a few little changes just to make sure it is watertight. There we go, there we go. Yeah, so that's pretty good. I'll put this to 0.4. But the real magic, at least when it comes to this one, is putting some noise in the mix. Actually, it looks better even without the power node. Okay, good. So the real power behind this is using a vector math and offsetting the length gradient by a noise texture. So let me do that real quick. I just need a simple subtract node. Let's set this to 0.5. And then this, let's multiply it like that and that. So now we can see, and let's reduce the scale a little bit. We can offset how this looks. A kind of position, if you will, of that. Let me set that to linear. So it looks a little bit off. Maybe I do need that power node. It may give a better, not as bad result. So there we go. Now we have kind of a wave effect going, but we need even more geometry. If we look at turn off optimal display, we can see we already have a lot of geometry, but it is not enough. Let me just go and add, whoops, that was a mistake. Let's go and and let's add more geometry towards where the center will be. 0.7, nope. Yeah, let's just do that so that we get more geometry. Yeah, optimal displays off. More geometry there and less on the outside. So there we go, there's that. And let's up the detail. Oh, that explains what's going on. So let me increase the noise a bit, but then decrease its effectiveness so that we can clearly see what's happening here. So it's just about getting a good pattern while not overdoing the detail part of it. The thing is, it's affecting it a bit too much over there. I also need to see, like, moving it to that side. Ooh, I like that. We get, like, a proper loop right there. And the good thing is, I want to be able to randomize this a lot. Yeah, I want it not going down there. So I need to see what I can do with that. So maybe I'll use a vector map range so that I can, yeah, let's try that. Or maybe I should just use a mix because the vector map range is just way too large. Let me do that. Let's use a mix node. Use a vector. There we go. Let's plug that in there. Let's install these coordinates for the beginning, or the end, or the beginning. I'll figure that out in a second. Ah, that is intriguing. So this one, I just want it so that it's not freaking out quite as much. At the end, I want it to be different, more unique. Oh, that's why. I need to actually plug in that one for it to work. You can make an alien landscape with this? Yeah, you could. You could try making a few different variations of alien landscapes. Could work out very well. Let's set that to 0. So there we go. I want to make it so that that part isn't freaking out. Maybe I could use like a separate, let's see, separate XYZ so that only on one side of the like Y-axis it does that. The other part is just fine. Tis a tad annoying. That part goes up, and oh wait, I could try... No, that would kind of undo what I'm trying to do here. But it does get results. So we do that. So, without any rotation, it looks like that. And then when we rotate, that happens. Which I'm actually surprised that is real time. Smoother step. Ooh. I like the smoother step on the bottom, but not so much on the top. How would I implement, you know, a little bit of a smoothing function there? But yeah, if you're wondering how do you make cool waves, well, that's how you do it. I'm still figuring out how to get it to be reliable. But for the time being, this is not bad. So I'll get rid of that part. Let's just try to make this more consistent. Better, faster, and all of that. Please don't delete these random project videos. I like to come back and practice. It's super helpful for me. Yeah, I do apologize. These random project videos are very advanced. They're the stuff that confuses me. So it's not great learning material. I'll say that, because it's just too. I'm running at my speed, my experimental speed, because I'm like, oh, what if I do this or what if I do that? And it's one of the reasons why I haven't done proper tutorials in a while. It's because I just can't figure out things that are simple enough to make into proper tutorials. Let's do that. One thing I'm wondering is why... Ah, bingo! But that does make the stuff go further into oblivion. Yeah, there we go. That's how you kind of make a wave. Now, my current goal is to try to instance this, to try to make it better. Do-do-do. Could just make it freak out even more. But yeah, this amount of messing around with the noise part, that's like the limit of it. I don't want to go further, because you could just have it be a little bit of detail, or you could try making it, you know, really random, or you could just go crazy. Oh wait a second. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. I didn't think about this before. Let's add. Oh, that is cool. Wait. Scene time, let's multiply. So I'm offsetting the distorted noise, I'm offsetting the distortion by time. Let's do that. Well, that is something you don't see every day. But does it look better in reverse? Like it's going up and then being revealed? I do like that, yeah. Oop. Well, I'm doing that so that I could get randomized versions of this. Just like, yeah, I could just imagine it now. Like, those errors I need to get rid of. Like, that I really don't like, and I don't know how to avoid it. Like, you see that? That's a result of it just being off. Let's try putting that to... Ooh. I've made a vital mistake. Any errors? Okay, just one little error right there. It's due to a little bit of pinching in the vertices. With less detail. No, it doesn't get rid of it. Yeah, what would fix that? I need to make it so that it does not compress. And I should also set the shading to smooth with that. That does look very freaking cool. So if I turn the subdivisions down, that's what it looks like, but we see that. Let's go in, so that, oh, yep, that makes sense. So that happens. So it rotates and then it goes crazy. So how do I make it so that it avoids that part? I tried this, which makes it worse, arguably. Let's try this one. So that makes it not as bad, but for some reason it raises up the that part. Even though that doesn't look bad, that version of it. But yeah, it makes it so that that part is avoided. How does... I guess one thing I could try doing is just having the geometry be warped with no noise, and then apply the noise as a post effect. So I just have that. And then I have... That is kind of funny, the shape that you get. But then I apply the noise as a normal offset. So I would just have this be normal, and then I scale it, or vector math, multiply, scale and multiply, do the same thing. And I just use a color ramp, or a map range, either would work, to... We need to minimize that by a good amount. Oh wait, I need to have this be the UV map, because the UV map gets warped by the thingy, which means that we get... Oh wow, that affects it much less than I thought it would. I thought it would be a lot more stretched. Well, let's up the amount it affects it. Even then, we're still getting some warping, but that's easily fixable. So let's offset that by the same, you know, time parameter offset. See how that looks. Okay, so we also need to multiply that. So let's do that. Let's set it to like 2, and then on this side maybe like 0.5. Yeah, it's still a bit much. So it's a bit hard to get that right, as we can see. Like, it seems like the other version is the right way to do it. If I just find out how to make that darn clipping stop. Okay, let's go back here. So that causes clipping. That version does not. Okay. Oh wait, I just found out how to make it stop clipping. In most scenarios. Ah. Scratch that. I did not find that out. I found out something that'll make it clip less, but it won't eliminate it. Just like right here, it doesn't look bad, but then it does. And even that... Is that... Oh wait, why does that look better? Not seeing much clipping, but it's a low value. Alrighty, well, let's eliminate that unnecessary tangents. Could have worked, but not in its current state. Another thing that I want to try is just having the center be the position, only the y-axis, not the z. What does that do? It does something. So let's add and lift up the center by a bit. I don't think... Not great. We just minimize this by just a little bit, because I want it there just a tad. So if we just take that and that, let's make sure these are the same. I have the position as a little bit of an input. We can see it does dampen it a little bit. So the more we have this, the more it gets dampened and it gets a little worse. But it does seem like the clipping is gone for the most part, which is good. Or I can make it so that the, the offset happens further away from the mesh, which may be a bit trippy to do, but I'll give it a go. Let's use map range just to say, hey, only distort it when it gets closer to the top. So let's try that. Oh, that works quite beautifully, I might add. It only offsets. Oh, yeah, that's working wonderfully. I'm not seeing any clipping whatsoever, but I forgot I also had that enabled. Okay, it's on thin ice, but there's mostly no clipping. For the most part. Maybe I need to set this to power, just like I did before. Power, set it to like 2, maybe. And we increase it. Nope, clipping is... It seems clipping will happen, if it just gets to be too much anyway. I'm trying to get something that works most of the time. Because right there... It's so difficult. Because let's look at this with only that part enabled. So we see that happening. So that, we're just moving a mound, essentially. But then we do put in the rotation, and then that's where the big magic happens. So if we have that clipping galore, we implement, this part, which if we put it up to 1, we can see it hates the top, but we get no more clipping. So what if we had that only be affected by the gradient? By this gradient. That would be really weird, but maybe it'll work. And, oh wait, this can be a scale, and it'll be none the wiser. Yep. There we go. So that... Let's see how far we can push it. Not super far. Like on the y-axis. I think that's good enough. Like it's right on the edge of it freaking out. But I think it's just... Ooh, if I set to linear, it's even better. Who would have thunk? So like that, and then it does that. Okay, I think that's good enough. It's an elegant solution that isn't as bad as you would initially think. I could actually just... Yeah, I can disconnect that from over there and just use the position for both these. Very nice. Very, very nice. So let's go and put these into frames to make them work out very well. Let's take a look at the render. How does it look? Lacking in detail, but not bad, because we can just do a little click, click, and then click, click. Oh, we need to set that to 7. No, that's risky territory with subdivision nodes, but here it's good. Let's set it to 8. Just look at all the micro details. I say that's pretty good. I could, if I wanted to, do that, or that, or that. My goodness. Well, let's just reduce that to something reasonable and turn that back down to something that is also reasonable. That is a very, very elegant solution. Is it a caramel wave? Yes. Yes, it is. I need to make more caramel content to live up to my channel name. Yep. Yep. So now that I have this, I can apply the modifiers and then use this as an asset. An asset, you know, that I can, you know, reduce the polygon count instead of over here where everything is super subdivided. I could just instance these and it'll be pretty much just as good. So I also want to try... That's still an issue. Yeah, it's a bummer. Ooh, that looks good. Just put that down. What if we set that to 0? That's like that. Then that does that. Which means maybe I could move the center with an empty. Let me just try that. That's gonna be like, you know, just a little weird, but I want to try. So if we use the empty to offset location, which that means that I could move that around with an empty. Cool. Good to know that's an option, even if I don't plan on using it too much. Okay, let's set this to smoother step. So I do like it when it fades into the ground, but I really do not like it when the top is like that. So what if I use a float curve? Let's try that. Float curve. So I need to put the map range in there so that this is just the fall off. So no. Also no. Let's try to get a happy medium. Not fun. Right there. Just try doing stuff like that. Really, really low. So let's hope that it works. Let's make sure that is clamped. Okay, so that is working. Bum bum bum. Is that good? It looks good. No, it does not. And we're getting quite a bit flipping there. So let's just keep it as is. I'll keep that there as well, just for safekeeping. Which means, any clipping? Oh, there is pretty much no clipping even happening there. I do want to reduce that by 1, just so that we have more solid structures. Ooh, I can make this an asset that people can use. Swirls. That is a very good idea, Ben. There we go. So you could keep doing that to your heart's content, even though I still need to. Let's add some more geometry in the middle. Just so that there's more even stuff happening. Because the more polygons in the middle, the easier... Or I could just use like a cone. Let's... Do I dare try that? Let's try mesh primitive. Let's try a cone, because those go to the center. Let's set the depth to 0. No fill type. Side segments go up and up and up and up. Oh, but it's not exponential. Yeah, that's a problem. Let's set this to like 0.5. So the thing is, I need there to be an exponential increase of geometry going towards the center, which I kind of put in the default mesh here. See, we have that there, and then that. Actually, yeah, let me properly implement that. Let's dissolve vertices. Do I and put that at like no. Let's do the I, but then scale it at 0.5. Then let's do it again. I, then scale it at 0.5 once again. And I, then scale 0.5, S 0.5 again. No, I, S 0.5. There we go. So the scale goes down by half every single time. Even though I think this one could go down by half one more time. Because this is a little more than exponential. Now it's lagging. But now this should... Nope. Maybe I overdid it a bit. Okay, let's do that. Put it right there, and then I. And we just have those two. It is lagging a wee bit, but I'll let that slide. Why is it touching the edges? Ah, that's why. Ooh, it's on thin ice again. I thought I fixed that. Did I break something again? I think I did. Let's go back a bit. Oh, that's a hypnotic wave right there. Back or forward? Is that no? That wasn't it, was it? Let's reverse that. I need to have it on a lower subdivision level. Did I mess up somewhere? Here, let me just rewind. Oh, this is not gonna continue well. Yep, didn't go back far enough. Or maybe I just thought it wasn't clipping into itself and it was? Yeah, maybe that's why. Oh, there we go. And then I still have that there, even though I could reduce that even more. But there we go, a hypnotic wave doing its thing. And now I just need to find a way. Like, I really don't want to render this in cycles, because it would take so long. But it looks so good with the subsurface scattering. I need to think. How do I make this look good? Even in Eevee. Like, that's my whole thing. I'm supposed to be able to know how to make things look as good as cycles in Eevee. But in this case, I think it's impossible. Look at that subsurface scattering. Like, if I go into the shader editor and just turn that off, we can see that looks boring. Okay, still a bit interesting, but mostly boring. So how do we fix that? I mean, I do have this version, which is still pretty cool. It does work in Eevee pretty much the same way. Let's turn that part off. The main reason I'm doing this is to make it an asset. And we still have this version. There we go, and I should probably copy this material so that I do not edit the other versions any further. I have the, this setup is just a little bit of a mess. Wait a second, where did that one go? Oh, right, there it is. Set that to 0. Ooh, so we get those really, really nice gradients. Then we bring it down. That's nice. Now we just need to make the generator. First of all, let's save what we know works, even though it's just still a little bit off. There we go. Oh, these should be the same. Yeah, there we go. If they're the same, then that works perfectly. So I need to, let's add in a vector node, just a vector. Put in those values there, and then this should work as intended. So there we go. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, now let's try to break it again. Okay, yep, it can still break. Ooh. That's not breaking. Why is that not breaking? That's actually really, really cool. Whoa. Oh, that's what I wanted a while ago. With here, we can see that we have those swoops happening. But here, it's so much better. My goodness. I really need to find out how to implement the float curve correctly. Because that... I don't want to knock it too much. But that does look good. And that has a very weird thing happening there, but still looks very interesting. Let's try stepped linear. This is going to be terrible, I can assure you. As I said. Yeah. There's that. If you do that, it doesn't break. If you do... How on earth is that not breaking? I am insanely surprised. Just choosing pretty much not to break at all. Now, there is another thing where I think it does break, but, you know, that's pretty... Yeah, just a little bit of that's happening. But, you know, this is a pretty... Ah. Okay, yep. Still some issues. So we can see where it does break. Okay. But you can just do... Oh, there we go. But we can still... Okay, that's basically the error finder right there. So let's look at the errors in here. Quite a few. Man, I finally thought I found it. But not quite yet, apparently. Let's try a power node. And see if that fixes... I want it to be perfect. A single ounce of red. None. At all. None ever. Almost looks like clay. Like those, clipping, not fun. Wait, is backface culling? Oh, I could have fixed all. Backface culling is a thing in cycles, or at least you could implement it. So I can make it so that all this stuff just isn't visible. Let's give that a go. So let's take a look at. Yeah, let's just try out this one. So I want to mix this with a transparent. Man, that looks good. Transparent. Right there. And let's have light path. Is there like a back-facing one or geometry? Ah, there's a back-facing one. So there we go. If it's back-facing, then we just switch it to transparent. As we can see, Blender does not appreciate that. Which it should work perfectly fine. Let's switch this to Eevee. I switched it to cycles again. Let's take a look. Let's set this to alpha clip and that to alpha clip. Yeah, that's fine. That happens, no errors whatsoever because all the errors get hidden. Physically accurate? No, but does it work? Yes. But in cycles, when those happen, it seems to freak out the subsurface scattering. Or no, it just lets you see into the void. It should not let you do. Interesting, but hey, I'm okay with that. Actually, wait a second. What if I put this in there? And I need to invert it. So let's just do a simple invert. Hello, everyone. We have quite a few people in the stream at the moment. Put that onto the there and put that there. Any bugs still happening? I sense some are. Let's go and fast forward until we can see. Yep, nope, quite a few still happening. Okay, well, I'll just leave that be. It's not hyper apparent there. Alrighty, and if I turn this off again, it just looks so boring. But with it, it takes longer to render, of course, but it looks so much better. So if there is a real-time subsurface scattering thing, that is, you know, gonna come out, I am all for it. Subsurface scattering makes things look good. Let's see, I'll just add that to there just to compress this all. There we are. So good. That's actually not bad for a node tree that does all of that. Like everything that you see happening here is just this. Not horrible. I'll just collapse the subtract 0.5 because people, well, I know what that does. And you don't need to touch it, and it's very good if you do not touch it. But then you could do all that. So you can either have it be small or all of that is at your disposal. Anything you want. And then you could do whatever the heck that is. And you could, oh, set the exponent to 1 and cause all the glitching to pop up again. So let's keep that at 2. Yeah. So it seems like another one of the issues is that this is affecting it there when it should not be. So maybe let's try some more stuff with this to make it so that it hopefully gets better. So if we use a separate XYZ and then use a map range, we can make it so that in the negative y-axis, yeah, since this rotates there, the negative y, it just won't rotate it. But there we go. It's a little much, but, you know, you get what's supposed to happen. But does Blender? So there, it's super shallow. Then up there, it's a lot. Or, yeah, let's see. What if I add the vector to it? Does that make it, like, automatically work? It appears to, at least in my eyes. So there's that. Yeah, that does seem to work. Now, we do lose, like, a little bit of the effect, but it's excusable in my eyes. Ooh, and ooh, man, that looks good. And now let's turn on the, you know, error finder, because there's going to be some, I know. Whoa. Not an ounce of red? Nope, some red. Okay, but very, very little. So there's one right there. Okay, good to know. And then you get more and more as you spin along even more. So there's that. And you do that, and things get worse, a lot worse. If I do that, nope. So if I just plug this into here, we get that happening, which is where most of our errors start from. Oh, and I need to set this to like 0.4 to like, you know, the radius, so in negative 0.4. Oops, what did I do? Okay, there we go. So that we can accurately see, oh, that's happening there. So that happens and then it spins. But what if... Ah, that's more like it. So the closer it gets to the regular part, it works. Then we plug this into there, and then that reduces the size of the top. So that may fix things up. And then that happens, but why does that happen? And 0.4. So when that happens, things go wacko mode. So let's change things down from wacko mode. Oh, so that we just get really cool rock formations. But they're not quite the spiral that I want, so let me just bring this back. We get errors there. Ah, it's a battle of, ooh, do you want errors or do you want no errors? Pick your poison. Let's put that into there so that we can see that in all of its glory. Okay, now that is interesting. But if you saw this in like a fantasy world, whoa, what was that? Oh, that's because of the face orientation mode. Yeah, if you just saw that, that's pretty good, don't you think? And I could spin it more. It's like, ooh, there we go. And I could make the distortion thing more like a tree trunk. Actually, what would happen if instead of using a grayscale, I used a color? Absolutely nothing. Okay, good. Let's try a Voronoi. Voronoi texture. This will work very differently than the other one. Scale it up. Okay, yep, that's kind of what I expected. Any other textures that would lead to some cool results, or no? I don't think so. There we go. We can see that those do nothing, and then when they get closer to the center... Wait a second. I think I may have just found out how to make this work a whole ton better. What if I just got the distance? Because it seems like that's what I'm trying to do. Just getting the distance from this location. I think that's what... Oh, okay. Let's save, and now let's do some editing. Let's try to fix this. So we have that. Let's delete that, delete all of that. I will probably go and go back to the save. But just to see if this is what will fix everything. Let's get the distance. No, not dot product, the distance. Yep. There we go. So we get the distance from there. So we see things are very different this time around. But that still happens. So we get that. We get that. Clipping galore. Okay, well, it was a good experiment, but, I knew that the chances of it working was not great. Reopening. But there we go. We have a working version that is pretty good. Like, we can lower it into the ground. Still function. Ah, so there's that. Yeah. So I just lower it down and then to the back. Because I really like these kinds of waves. The ones that go down, then up. But come to think of it, what if I just... Oh, wait. May re-enable that. Yeah, those ones are too tall. Oh. There we go. I didn't expect that to work. But it does. So we get all that kind of cool... Yeah, look at that. It just looks like there's a spiral coming out of the ground. Okay. I'm cool with that. Well, I found my new logo. Oh, wait a second. This is the Firefox logo. I just made the Firefox logo. Like the super simplified one. Let's bring that down a bit. Still looks like a wave. Here we go. And now, I could make it, if I multiply the distance, we should see. Ooh, let's set that to 1, and 1, and 1. So let's set this one to be less. So that looks more like a wave. Now I want this to be a geologic structure, but a wave, you know, does the job just fine. There we go. So that's good. I still need to make it so that, because this is being driven by, you know, the radius from 0.4. So I need to make it so that, yeah. So how do I do that? Do I just scale it and then add that to there and then that? Would that work, or is that a really, really bad idea? Or I could just attach a, you know, value into there, and then it would work perfectly. Negative, negative, negative. 0.4, negative, 0, 7. Wait, what the heck? Huh. Interesting. Well, I got it working the way I want it to, and, you know, it got a bit bigger. But it's acceptable. There we go. Alrighty. There we are. It works well. Customizable. I really like how you can see like some of them poking out from there. That's my favorite part. These. And now you can scatter these all along your world. It, you know, since I'm making these into basically a generatable asset pack. This should be 0.5 technically. Even though I don't want it spilling off to the sides. But since the radius is, you know, this plane is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, it does the job. And it's still it's so good. Look at it. Sorry if I'm a little excited, but this stuff is good. Look at it, look at it, look at it. I should set this to 30 frames per second so you guys can see this in all of its glory. No, my stream goes at 29.97 frames per second, even though I should set that to 30. Because why on earth would people say, no, let's just make it 29.97? It was probably an old film standard. Okay, let's see why the heck is that happening? 7? Just not enough geometry, I'm suspecting. Yeah, that's not enough geometry part. So if I set that to 8, yep, that explains it. So that is one thing that, you know, the user should be able to decipher for themselves. If they want to turn it off on that axis, looks pretty darn good, don't you say? 0.5, that adds, you know, a little, that's, okay. This is a wave, and that's the mountain range. That's what defines that. Now setting this to that, that turns into like a fantasy portal kind of deal. Yeah. And then doing that just turns into a gobbledygook of nonsense polygons, but that's also because of not enough subdivisions. So if we do that, you can get that happening. And need I remind you, this entire thing is just based off that. So you just make the wave, and then you distort it, and then you get that. The difficult part is making it so that there's no errors happening. So if I do that, turn off that, we get that happening, which, you know, just isn't all too great. Actually, wait a second. I just... Do I even need that now? Huh. I might. But it doesn't really look like it, if I'm being honest. So that's 0.5. Oh, that might have actually... The radius on that was wrong. So that might have actually... I could have saved the project before. Huh. Well, now we have something more consistent. Or do we? There we go, that to that. Yeah, no, that's... No, it was good beforehand. But if I were to make it so that it was only that... Seems like that's, like, the best version in a way, and I could just turn down that part of it to get what I want. But it needs more testing. So there's that, which makes, you know, that weird stuff happen. There's that, which it says, that says basically, break it all. Just eliminate any consistency that was with this. So yeah. Even though... Okay, no, that is still intact. Good. Alrighty, I've been streaming for an hour already. It felt like 20 minutes. I guess, you know, making something that you actually like and, you know, you really like the result, makes time go by. But I think I should end the stream there. It was good. I can't complain. We got the wave setup working as I intended. Even though, why the heck is that so far gone? Eh. Okay. So that is 1. Oh, right. So that makes it skinnier on the top. But that leads to that, which is really good. So now you could just flip through and say, hey, I like this version, copy it, apply both the modifiers, and then boom. Got working as intended. And now you could do everything you want, like, I highly recommend decimating it. This will ruin, you know, the topology count. Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe 0.1, not 0.01. There you go. Now you got something that may be, you know, actually usable in your project. You could scatter it along your scene or whatever you want to do. UV maps are still intact, so you could use that for texturing. And the UV maps are spiraled around, which is quite nice. Yeah, there you go. And then you could just hunt for another cool pattern. Just to make sure that, you know, your mountains, which, looking back on this, you know, it still looks good in the setting that it's in. But it looks a little bit weird. All these ones, you know, are more actual assets that you would use. So with this one, let's switch it to material 01. Let's... Uh-oh, what did I do? There we go. So now you have this, like, you come upon a relic, a mountain. Looks like that. The relic's just nestled right in there in the middle of the spiral. That's good. So let's just go and see what other cool types we can get. I'm still not 100% sold on this part. That's something. Not something great, but... Oh, that's an animation right there. Okay. So, if you wanted to, you could do, you know, the more make it completely fade into the ground. Or you can make it linear again, which I don't know. Oh, that actually doesn't look bad. Oh, that's why. Okay. So there's that, then there's that. Both of them look good. Let's, you know, hunt around for good, you know, different things. So we bump that up to like 0.6. It is an achievement to make it so that you could bump it up to 0.6 and it still brings out a usable result. Now that, on the other hand, not so much. I do also want to test. Let's multiply the noise value beforehand. See this as well. Ooh, that's interesting. Very cool. That looks more, I don't know, artistic in a way. Actually, if I put that in the multiply before, you know, the addition, the time addition, it'll mean that it'll evolve it over time. Even if there's no, you know, y-axis to be spoken, or yeah, y-axis to be spoken of. And if we do that, we can make it just crazy. Terrible. Actually, I do like how the subsurface scattering affects those ones. So there you go. You could do that. All kinds of things are at your disposal. If I do end up making this product. I do need to post the Mimic. It is, at this point, pretty much ready to go. But yeah, let's bring this to the center and let's hide that part, and let's just render this. See what it looks like. What did I set this to? Oh well, let's look at it. So it's not bad. Okay, 10-second render. Not bad. I think it being like that is better though, so let's take a whack at that. That's good. I like it. And I also want to try it with the, you know, the main material. I'll label this, main. So let's go and take a look at the result with that. Then once that is done rendering, I'll look at it very closely. And then I'll end the stream as I promised. However many times I did before. Okay. I'd say that's good. I would say that. Even though it seems like there's... Oh, I know why. There's a different texture on everything else. But I think that's because I stored the old position data. Which I should do as well with this. So this got a bit more complicated than I would like. It's not horrible, but you know. I'm gonna take this out actually. Just for that. Let's see. Scaling this down does that. Scaling it up makes it, dare I say, a bit more artistic. That's more general. Less things to mess up. Yeah. I really like the kind of snow I put there. But yeah, this part is good. And the only part that is still kind of iffy is, you know, adding this to everything. For all those. Which I'm still debating just taking out this part and then just connecting this to there. Because it would work. It would. But this part just makes it a bit skinnier at the top. Which I like that. There we go. So I will connect this, even though I'm, you know, debating removing it and all that. There we go. So there's that, that, and that. At least I can make it a bit organized. There we go. That's pretty good if you ask me. Not too complicated. And it could be, you know, simplified a lot just by doing that, but that's good. I'm happy with it. I should store the old position data just in case the person doesn't have a UV map at the ready. Let's just see how much this slows down the thing. Let's do that. Have the input be position. Okay. No big error. Old position. Oh, good. Not bad. Just doesn't freak out too much. Actually, let's look at the timing. Because maybe, okay, so 10 milliseconds. This reduces it to 12 milliseconds. What? So that 10 milliseconds and then taking that out makes it 12? What? How? Wait. How does that happen? How do I save 2 milliseconds? By adding in another function. Maybe it's because it's calling the position data beforehand? Normal? Okay, so that's 13 milliseconds because it's calling that. With that, it reduces it even more. That with it's the same. But when I do this, does that... Maybe this node just kind of... There needs to be an operation in case anything happens to the mesh. And that's like a one-time thing. Why would it be cheaper overall? I don't know. Let's do another render because I think now... Wait, what did I put into... See, I need to find the mesh I hid and see what the story is in there. Right, this is the one for that. Oh, I labeled it old position, not old pose. So let's do that, old position. So we should now see in the shader, yep, there we go. All the textures showing up as I intended. And let's have the render be 8. There we go, that's good. Let's do one more render just to see all the detail. 16 times the detail. Oh yeah, that's looking good. In the background, ignore the background stuff. Because that's the old bad method. But now the new method, we can see all that happening. I like it. Swirled caramel with sugar on top. Yeah. And if I wanted to... sy-1. You know, just do a little bit of that, and then make, you know, some nice canyons here. Or maybe like a Valentine's Day heart. I know that's coming up sometime soon. Yeah, just do like a little... Well, that's not a heart. Someone knows how to make a heart with spirals, let me know. But yeah, it could be used for that if you're more creative than my 10 o'clock brain is. But yeah, that's good. I'm happy with it. So I'll label this spiral. Spiral mesh. Spiral mesh is what I'll call it. Now let's unhide. Oh dear. Yep. There's that. This will be the old spirals. Yeah, let's just label these as they are. And then spiral mesh. Labels, spiral mesh. There we go. Very, very nice. So now, instead of the old method, I could just instance these once I pretty them up a little bit. And then use them as an asset. Very nice and very cool. So let me just do that again. Delete that. Let's apply this and apply that. Let's decimate it. Just really reduce the data usage. There we go. Apply that. And now let's put in the other material. I'll label this 2 just so that it's different. Let's take a look. So we should see, yep, the little lines going. That's the bump map. It looks pretty good. Pretty good if you ask me. I still like the caramel better. But if we look through... Oh, I got rid of all the cached images, but that's perfectly fine. But yeah. Here we go. Okay, folks. This was a productive session. I hope you all enjoyed. Now I just need to figure out how I showcase the animation without it, you know, rendering out a ton of frames and cycles. Because I do not want to do that. I want to show off all the cool little intricacies, and it looks so incredibly good. But without having to render a ton of stuff. There's a reason, like, you know, an Eevee, you know, I give it a good amount of flack because, you know, this looks kind of bad. But it's a tall order, even for cycles, to do subsurface scattering. Ooh, oh, whoa, I forgot how good that looked. Yeah. Now all I need to do is offset the material to go along with it so that it doesn't just look like it's lifting up and all that. It looks pretty good. See, that also looks good. Subsurface scattering, it's alright. I just want to try one last thing, TM. That is that, but I want to use the layer weight node. Layer weight, because I want to try some of that. Cool. Let's put that into one of these nodes. And let's add in, you know, some different colors so that we can see what that looks like. Very cool, very nice. That adds, oh, parallax. I need to add parallax to this to see what that looks like. Because it does still have the UV map. Let me try that. Where's that crystal effect? Let's see. I need to end the stream now, so maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But thank you all for watching. I had a great time doing this. Got a very usable result that I'll be sure to use in, you know, an upcoming project. So thank you all for the 15th time, and I'll see you all next time.